Hello racing fans! On the weekend of the 22nd to the 23rd of June 2024, F1 Academy held the third round of the 2024 season at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya in Barcelona, a 2.657km 14-turn track in the Mediterranean coast of Spain. There was no wildcard entry for this event. There were, however, a lot of injured drivers at this event, with Pan recovering from a broken rib after falling off a bike at Le Mans, Nobles had just recovered from a broken wrist, and Lovenfoss had recently broken her thumb. All were cleared by the medic. In qualifying, Marty gets a fine for her team for speeding in the pit lane. Chambers and Pan seem to be in a fight between the two of them for much of the round, until Bustamante takes fastest lap with 6 minutes to go. At T-5, Pulling, who spent much of the round in the pits for setup, comes through to take fastest lap. As the round goes on, the track cools, times start to tumble. Pan takes P4 with 4 minutes left, only for Chambers to take it seconds later. Pulling finds P1 again by less than 600ths of a second, resulting in, for race 1, P1 Abby Pulling, P2 Chloe Chambers, P3 Nerea Marti, P4 Dorian Pan, P5 Bianca Bustamante, P6 Tina Hausman, P7 Hamda Alkabezi, P8 Leah Block, P9 Jessica Edgar, P10 Lola Lovenfoss, P11 Emily de Hoyce, P12 Maya Verg, P13 Amna Alkabezi, P14 Carrie Schreiner, and P15 Aurelia Nobles. There were no incidents in the formation lap this time, which is always nice to see. As the race starts, Edgar does a false start and gets a 5-second penalty. Pulling, Chambers and Marty immediately take the front of the pack, but Pan has some difficulty getting off the line. Marty pulls level with Pulling as they approach turn 1, but Pulling pulls ahead through the apex while Marty sideswipes Chambers' nose, for which Chambers is given a black and white flag. Turns 2 and 3 see Hausman trying to challenge Hamda, but she has to fall in behind through turn 4 while Edgar starts applying pressure to Hausman from the rear. Verg tries to take an aggressive inside line at turn 5 but cannot stick it and tries to back out, which causes her to collide with Lovenfoss's rear tyre, which, in turn, causes her to sideswipe Amna and clip Pan's nose. Verg and Amna end up spinning out onto the gravel and both are retired from the race. Thankfully, everyone involved is safe and unharmed, aside from egos, and Verg is given a 5-position penalty for the next race. A yellow flag is called for Sector 2 and a safety car is called. This is unfortunate as many of the drivers had just found their speed and rhythm and are now forced to slow down again. The safety car continues until turn 12 of lap 6, where Pulling restarts at the apex. The other drivers are not prepared and Pulling finds a comfortable lead. In lap 7, Edgar noses ahead of Hausman down the home straight and manages to complete the motion into turn 1. De Hoyce tries to attack on the inside of Hausman in turn 4, but Hausman defends. They end up neck and neck as they hit the apex of the corner and De Hoyce inches ahead at the exit. Hausman tries to take back the position on turn 5 but can't find the space and has to fall in. In turn 6, Block joins in and ends up in the back of a conga line behind Hausman and De Hoyce. Block attempts to take the inside, but Hausman refuses to let her through. Block tries again on turns 10 and 11, but Hausman keeps on top of it. Lovenfoss, Schreiner and Pan take a look down the inside on the home straight of lap 9. Schreiner and Pan pull back in, but Lovenfoss stays defensive until turn 1. Pan makes an attack on Schreiner in turn 2 and pulls down the inside of turn 3 in a smooth overtake. Pulling takes fastest lap. Lovenfoss defends against Pan down the home straight of lap 9. Pan attacks in turn 1 but can't find the opening. She keeps the pressure on throughout the lap. At the beginning of lap 10, Pan finds Lovenfoss's slipstream and closes the gap between them. Lovenfoss moves to an inside line to get away and holds position through turn 1. By turn 10, however, Pan and Lovenfoss are neck and neck. Lovenfoss is a whisker ahead into turn 11, but Pan overtakes in the exit. Lap 11 sees Block moving to the inside of Hausman on the home straight, but falling back in line into turn 1. Block keeps pressure on Hausman through turn 1, but loses her momentum in turn 2. By lap 11, there's a hair between Hausman's rear wheels and Block's front wing, while Pan closes in on Block. Block and Pan put pressure on Hausman down the home straight of lap 12. Hausman holds them off, causing Block to pull back in, while Pan takes Block's position into turn 1. Pan baits Hausman on the outside of turn 4 and, on the straight up to turn 9, uses every opportunity to put pressure on Hausman, although Hausman manages to hold position. Through lap 13, Hausman starts being overly defensive towards Pan's attacks. In lap 14, Pan uses Hausman's slipstream to close the gap between them again, and, in turn 3, Hausman runs wide, allowing Pulling to pull right inside her, slipping through and taking position in turn 4. By lap 15, Pulling is over 3.5 seconds ahead of P2. In the final lap, Pan gives her all to make sure she is within Edgar's 5-second penalty, resulting in Pulling 28 points, Marty 18 points, Chambers 15 points, Bustamante 12 points, Hamda 10 points, De Hoyce 8 points, Pan 6 points, Edgar 4 points, Hausman 2 points, points, Block 1 point, and Lovenfoss, Schreiner, Nobles, Verg and Amner bringing up the rear. Race 2 took place the next day, with the grid looking like P1 Abby Pulling, P2 Chloe Chambers, P3 Dorian Pan, P4 Nerea Marti, P5 Hamda Alcabazi, P6 Leah Block, P7 Tina Hausman, P8 Bianca Bustamante, P9 Jessica Edgar, P10 Lola Lovenfoss, P11 Emily de Hoyce, P12 Carrie Schreiner, P13 Aurelia Nobles, P14 Amner Alcabazi, and P15 Maya Verg, who did technically place in 13 but has her grid penalty from the previous race. As the lights go off, Bustamante gets a 5-second penalty for a false start, and Hamda makes a break right down the middle of the pack, achieving P4. In turn 1, Chambers manages to edge past Pulling, who gets stuck in P2. Bustamante pulls alongside Hamda out of turn 1, but runs wide and ends up behind Hamda again. Edgar also runs wide and pulls in behind Pan, getting a 5-second penalty for leaving the track and gaining advantage. Hausman runs down the inside of Block through turn 5, but Block is more strategic on the brakes through 6, 7 and 8 and holds position. Lap 2 sees quite conservative driving from every driver, and the pack spaces out, although Pan sticks on Bustamante's back wheels throughout and takes every chance to pressure. Chambers gets fastest lap. Schreiner tries to overtake Hamda on the inside of the home straight of lap 3, but Hamda stays right in Schreiner's field of view. They both fall back into the pack as Amner attempts to overtake Nobles on the entry to turn 1. Laps 4 and 5 see very tentative driving. In turn 1 of lap 6, Pan picks up the pace and redoubles her efforts to pressure Bustamante. Pan makes a play on the outside of turn 4 and has to pull back in behind at the apex. At turn 10, Pan moves to the inside line and forces Bustamante to go full defensive. By turn 12, Pan's nose is right in Bustamante's rear light. Down the home straight of lap 7, Pan uses Bustamante's slipstream to full effect to keep up the attack. Meanwhile, out of nowhere, Block just decides to go faster than Edgar and overtakes on the home straight. Edgar tries to take it back through turns 2 and 3 but has to pull back in behind. Pan slips down the inside of Bustamante into turn 4. By lap 8, Chambers has a 2-second lead on Pulling while the other drivers hit another lull. Hausman manages to overtake Edgar on the inside of turn 5 in lap 9. Pan joins the back of the Hamda, Marti and Pulling conga line. In turn 2 of lap 10, Hamda pressures Marti on the outside. On the approach to turn 4, Hamda tries to pull to the inside, but Marti blocks the path and forces her back. Through turn 4, Pan is practically in Hamda's boot. Hamda moves to the inside of the corner and then the outside of turn 5, but cannot find an opening. Lap 11 is another quiet one. In lap 12, Chambers is 7 seconds ahead of everyone else. Hamda pulls alongside Marti on the outside of the home straight and finally finds her overtake in turn 1. Lap 13 sees Pan pressuring Marti into turn 1, but cannot find the opening. Lovenfoss pulls down the outside of Edgar into lap 14's turn 4, with Schreiner and de Hoyce joining in, almost running 4 abreast into turn 5, with Lovenfoss eventually taking Edgar. Through turn 7, Verg gets ahead of Nobles. Nobles runs Verg off the track, but Verg comes out ahead. In lap 15, de Hoyce takes Edgar through turn 1 and into turn 2. Schreiner pressures Edgar right through turn 2 and sneaks past on turn 3. Amner and Verg pass Edgar through turns 7 and 9. Nobles assesses the situation into turn 10 and overtakes into 14. The final lap goes by without any incidents, and we end up with Chambers 26, Pulling 20, Hamda 15, Marti 12, Pan 10, Block 8, Bustamante 6, Hausman 4, Lovenfoss 2, de Hoyce 1, and Schreiner, Amner, Verg, Nobles and Edgar bring up the rear of the standings, leaving our standings for the season so far at Abby Pulling 147 points, Dorian Pan 81 points, Chloe Chambers 81 points, Nerea Marti 63 points, Bianca Bustamante 57 points, Hamda Alcabazi 55 points, Maya Verg 51 points, Jessica Edgar 22 points, Tina Hausman 14 points, Amner Alcabazi 12 points, Leah Block 10 points, Emily de Hoyce 9 points, Carrie Schreiner 9 points, Aurelia Nobles 6 points, and Lola Lovenfoss 5 points. Personally speaking, Race 1 of Barcelona is one of the most interesting and engaging races of the year so far. We look forward to sharing with you how the drivers do in Zandvoort next time. Thank you very much for taking your time watching this video. Good night.